53-year-old Darcy Shiverhood is behind bars after she stabbed a woman with a knife. At 6:48 p.m. on Wednesday the 2nd of October, authorities responded to Dogwood Springs Drive in London, Kentucky, on reports of an assault with an injury. When deputies arrived, they found the victim, who said that Darcy hit her in the back of the head and then stabbed her in the right arm with a knife. Medics treated the victim on scene and transported her to St. Joseph of London Hospital. Witnesses also told investigators that Darcy slashed a tire on a vehicle in the driveway owned by the victim before wandering away. Deputies located Darcy walking down the road, still in possession of the knife. Darcy was arrested and booked into the Laurel County Jail on charges of second-degree assault and second-degree criminal mischief. 2 individuals have been arrested after police found babies crawling around in a filthy house filled with animal feces and garbage. 32-year-old Shiley Marie Helmick and 51-year-old Duran Miller Sherman have been charged with 3 felony counts of neglect of a dependent and misdemeanor charge of animal neglect. At around 2:20 p.m. on Monday the 30th of September, authorities responded to a residence in the 5000 block of West County Road in Muncie, Indiana, on a report of child abuse by the Department of Child Services that said the conditions were unlivable. When officers arrived, they detected a strong odor of urine and ammonia emanating from the premises, even before the door was opened. Upon entering the home, they found 13 cats, 1 dog, 1 young child and 2 babies. Investigators said the living room was covered in feces and described the house as disgusting and littered with old food and trash. Authorities also saw one of the 2 babies crawling in feces on the floor. The same baby had feces on its face. Shailene and Durand were arrested and booked into the Delaware County Jail. 58-year-old Joe Garner Kane is behind bars for fatally stabbing his son-in-law, 42-year-old Tony Dwayne Roberts, during a family dispute. At around 8:15 a.m. on Wednesday the 2nd of October, authorities responded to a home in the 2400 block of Avenue B in Brownwood, Texas, after a woman called 911 to report that her husband had just been stabbed by her father. The caller said she was involved in an argument with the sisters, which Tony tried to break up, prompting Joe to confront Tony outside and stab him. Tony was rushed to a local hospital, where he died from his injuries. Joe was arrested and charged with murder and remains held at the Brown County Jail on a $250,000 bond. Authorities have arrested a 39-year-old man after a toddler roamed around outside alone and learnt that the child lived in deplorable conditions in a residence with multiple children. On the evening of Friday the 27th of September, a woman called the Flagler County Sheriff's Office after an unattended toddler entered a vehicle while she was delivering groceries to a home along Barley Lane in Palm Coast, Florida. The woman said the child then got out of the vehicle and started walking across the street, before eventually walking into an open garage at 7 Barley Lane. A short time later, deputies arrived at the home and knocked on the door, and could see trash and discarded food on the floor from the front window. 39-year-old Nicholas Carter opened the door and stated that the child, who he confirmed to be 2 years old, walked to the edge of the driveway unattended and was only outside for a few minutes. Nicholas said he left the door to the garage open and was in another room when the child walked out. Nicholas then told deputies he lived in the home with 5 children, ages 2, 4, 8, 15 and 16 years old, the children's mother and a roommate. Deputies asked to check the home, and Nicholas consented. Deputies said as soon as they walked inside, they could smell a strong odor of feces, urine, mold and mildew. Large clumps of fecal matter were observed inside the home while children were walking around barefoot. As deputies continued to walk through the home, they described the environment as unsafe and horrid living conditions. In the laundry, several clumps of fuzzy fecal matter were found, indicating that they were several days old. Discarded garbage and food were also seen in the laundry room. Upon entering the kitchen, deputies observed dirty dishes, roaches, flies, rotting food and food waste scattered on the floors and countertops. Knives were also observed left out and easily accessible to the young children. Nicholas told deputies that the young children slept in the master bedroom. Inside the room, deputies discovered more trash and urine on the floor. 2 beds with blankets and pillows were also on the floor. Fecal matter was also seen in the closet along with numerous flies. Deputies then asked Nicholas to step outside to talk, and he stated that the toddler liked to hang out in the garage. Their deputies found several power tools, exposed wires, sharp objects, a BB gun, and a smoking pipe used to smoke marijuana, all within reach of the toddler. Deputies then spoke with a roommate, who said he lived in the house for the past 2 years. He described the living conditions as frowned upon. The roommate also said that Nicholas was the primary caregiver for the children, due to him being home more than the mother. Nicholas was asked about the living conditions in the home, which he called a little dirty. He could not give deputies a reasonable explanation for why there was feces and urine throughout the house, as well as why there were multiple sharp objects within the young children's reach. Nicholas was arrested for child neglect without great bodily harm for failing to provide proper care, supervision, and services necessary to maintain the children's health and safety. Nicholas was not cooperative with deputies while being handcuffed, and he was additionally charged for obstruction without violence. Detectives also contacted the Florida Department of Children and Families. This isn't the first time deputies have responded to the home. Since January of 2023, there have been 16 separate occasions, including a call on the 4th of March 2023 about a child wandering the street alone. On the 30th of December 2023, Nicholas called the fire department after one of his children had a seizure from eating marijuana. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley said that 5 children, 3 under the age of 10, living in deplorable conditions with an adult who obviously doesn't care about these children. On top of it all, Flagler County Sheriff's Office has a history with this guy. In one case, a child ate marijuana and had a seizure while under the man's care. Hopefully this time, the Department of Children and Families will take serious action to turn the home life around for these children, the least of which is to learn how to be a parent and clean up the house. We also thank the citizen that saw something and said something so deputies could intervene. A 28-year-old man has been arrested weeks after disturbing crimes involving a 9-year-old girl unfolded inside a home. Authorities said that on the 18th of September, 28-year-old Tyreek Collier sexually assaulted the young girl after burglarizing a home along the 3000 block of Cotman Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Authorities said that the 9-year-old girl was sleeping next to another child in the family. After the assault, Tyreek was caught on camera trying to enter other homes in the area. On Wednesday the 2nd of October, Tyreek was arrested and booked into the Philadelphia County Jail on charges of burglary, rape, indecent assault and statutory sexual assault. A 40-year-old woman is behind bars for shooting a man. At 12:34 p.m. on Thursday the 3rd of October, authorities responded to Laurel Loop in Asheville, North Carolina on reports of shots fired. When officers arrived, they found a man in a critical condition with a gunshot wound to his head. Officers performed life-saving measures on the victim until paramedics arrived and transported him to Mission Hospital. During the investigation, authorities identified 40-year-old Jessica Barnes Furland as the suspect. Officials did not share how both parties were acquainted with one another. Jessica was arrested and charged with first-degree attempted murder and remains held at the Buncombe County Detention Center with bond denied.